Hi everyone, it's Lori A. Mans with QualityMediaConsultants.com, where we help entrepreneurs and small business owners to get more clients, gain brand visibility, and grow revenue in record time. I'm here today to talk to you about how to price for profitability and prosperity. I've got 5 tips for you and I'm going to share them right now. But before I do, I'd like to encourage you to visit the blog at QualityMediaConsultants.com if you want to learn more about this topic and other business topics to help you grow your business. Now, tip number 1 in how to price for profitability and prosperity is to understand profit margins. Now, in order to come up with a profit margin, you need to understand what gross profit is and expenditures, okay? So you're going to obviously take your gross profit from what your revenues are and then minus your expenses, and that's your gross profit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that gross profit and then divide it by your gross revenue, and that's how you come up with your profit margin. So here's an example. If you sell something for $200, that's what you made on it. You made $200, but it cost you $150 to make or produce that item. Your gross profit is $50, but that's not your profit margin. In order to get your profit margin, you have to take that $50 and then divide it by your gross revenue, which is the $200. And then you come up with a decimal, and that decimal is a percentage, and that is your profit margin. So in this example, if you take $50, which is what you made, and you divide it by the $200 based upon what you sold it for, and you will get 25%. That's your profit margin. Now, to some people, 25% profit margin is good. To me, I like to go for a little higher than that. I like to go for 50% or higher on my profit margins. Now, if you want to price effectively, then you need to understand your profit margins on everything you sell in your business. Now, tip number 2 is you have to price for projections. Now, your projections are basically what you forecast in your business that you're going to make every single year or quarter or month. Now, let's take an annual example. If you want to make $100,000 in your business, then that means you need to actually sell and you actually need to bring in $8,333 a month. Well, if we round that number up, we come up with $10,000. I like to round really high. So think about it. For $10,000 a month, you're going to have 10 people to buy something for $1,000 each. Or you're going to have 20 people to buy something for $500 each. You get the point. You have to have your projections in line based upon what it is that you have to sell in your business, whether it's a product or a service, and understand how much of it you need to sell in order to meet your revenue goal. And that's how you price effectively. Tip number 3 is you've got a price based upon supply and demand. And in order to know anything about supply and demand, you have to know the marketplace. Now, what does the marketplace yield for your product or service? Do you have a long waiting list of people ready to buy what you're offering? Or is it like crickets? If it is no supply and demand for it, then you need to rethink what you're selling and what you're pricing it at. So make sure your pricing is congruent with supply and demand in the marketplace. And tip number 4, you have to price based upon your brand strategy. And with brand strategy, you need to also know what is your competition doing in terms of their branding strategy. So first and foremost, in regards to your brand, are you a luxury brand? Are you a cost cutter brand? Or are you somewhere in the middle? If you are a luxury brand, you want to make sure you're priced high in the marketplace and you're not coming in at the lowest possible price. And if you are a cost cutter brand, you want to make sure that you're coming in at the lowest possible price. So based upon what your branding strategy is and what you're having to sell and what you have to offer your customers, you want to make sure that your brand strategy is there. And here's the main thing you need to understand about your brand strategy when it comes to pricing: value. That's right. You've got to remember that it's all about value. And tip number 5, and finally, you have to price for your target market. Is your target market willing to pay for whatever it is that you're selling? Are they gladly paying your price point, or are they complaining all the way? If they're gladly paying it and you've got thousands of customers or hundreds even, or just if you have a hungry tribe of buyers who are ready to pay your prices, that's why you know that you have an excellent pricing model. All right, you guys, that's it. Those are the 5 tips I have for you in terms of how to price for prosperity and profitability. Now, if you have any questions around this topic, feel free to reach out to me at qualitymediaconsultants.com. I'd love to help you with the revenue breakthrough strategy session so that you can get on the pathway to bigger profits. See you next time. Bye-bye.